Tevez da solo, Tevez al limite dell'area, fa fuori tutti, Tevez, si apre la porta, Tevez, gol, da dietro, Pirlo dentro,
Welcome, Juventini, back to the all Juve cast, of course, where it's all Juve all the time. I got Lucci, I got Omer today at a, unordinary time because we are going to be doing the Matchday live a day ahead. And the reason is because this match is going to be 3:30 a.m. my time. And I'm still going to be doing a watch along, which is going to be stellar. We'll have the espressos going. So whoever wants to join me for the espresso match and have me replace your commentators, let's do the damn thing. Omer, Lucci, how's it going?
It's a nice Saturday morning. Hopefully we have a good Sunday morning as well, but so far so good.
There you go. Yeah. It better be good because 3:30 in the morning. Hey, I'm pulling my weight. Don't disappoint me, you. Let's go. Mohammed coming in here saying good morning, guys. I just want to say that it really sucks not going to have Locatelli for the remaining games. Absolutely. Huge blow. We were all taken back and shocked when that news kind of broke out, and Max again in Max fashion, so subtly, in how he speaks about it. Just Locatelli might not be around for anymore. His season might be done. Just so casually, but big blow. Mm-hmm. Zakaria, on the flip side, has actually impressed me quite a bit, and he surprised me in terms of technical ability too, and he's a lot more well-rounded than I expected. It's funny. He's a very, very big guy in stature and long legs and whatnot. I kind of expected a bit of an awkwardness with him in movements and stuff, something a la Matuidi but much better. I was actually surprised. I've been surprised with him. What are your guys' thoughts? We'll just address this before we get into our stuff. The loss of Locatelli and how you feel about Zakaria so far. And we'll start with Lucci on this one.
Yeah, there's no doubt the loss of Locatelli is huge. He's been probably our best midfielder, since joining. And, it is what it is, which these injuries have been killing us this year. But Zakaria, I've been very impressed. When we saw him, obviously when Italy played Switzerland in the Euros and things like that, he stood out for Switzerland for sure. And he's continuing to impress me every game I see him. So hopefully he can keep that up. And I think that'll be a great signing for us in the next few years to come.
Absolutely. Omer.
Yeah, Locatelli is a massive loss because he put in like most minutes until his injury with De Ligt and Szczesny and Rabiot, but the role he was required to do is a bit tougher than the rest of them, so it took its toll. Unfortunately, luckily, we're not competing in any major tournaments at the moment, and it's pretty easy for us till the rest of the season because not having him in the Champions League semi-final or anything would have been massive. And Zakaria, I've been following him a lot because I really like this Mönchengladbach Marco Rose team. They have some great players, and I liked him too. I like his character. I like what he brings to the table. Kind of reminds me a bit of Momo Sissoko in the style he plays. And I like Momo Sissoko. Although the times were bad, he was a fun player to watch. So that's where it, parallels to for me.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid comparison too, looking back at Sissoko there. So yeah, very, very nice. We've got Shatterstar here. Zakaria has more offensively than I expected. And has a love affair with the post though. Yeah, he's going to have to shake that, that's for sure. But yeah, he's been a very, very pleasant surprise. So we've got quite a bit to talk about. There's just in the news recently, obviously, trying to work out midfield combinations with what we're going to do in the Mercato. You've got the number 10 scenario. Then you have what's going to be happening with the young guys. And I think we'll start with the young guys. So you've got the latest in the mold that might take shape in the summer is still looking for Rovella as an incoming. If Cremonese, which is where Fagioli is currently, if they can reach promotion, he may remain there and get that as his his outgoing loan and remain there. I think that would be best case scenario for Fagioli. You've already established your role amongst that team. You're thriving there and whatnot. Now they get promotion and you remain. Everything remains the same, except now it's in that top tier. That would be best case scenario, in my personal opinion, for Fagioli. Miretti also going out looking on a loan. Dragusin name has been coming up a lot as of late. He will most likely be on the move in a loan deal, potentially a sale, could even be some type of swap. We're not sure, but he could be out. De Winter is said that he does not want to carry forth next season being a fringe player and or a U23. So he could potentially be looking to get away from that. In all these scenarios, I'm totally okay with all of that. I'm absolutely fine with all of that. Moretti getting a loan. Fagioli, if he can remain at Cremonese, get even more experience, and then come to us, because we're just still, that gap between Serie B and Serie A is there, and we still have those question marks. With the potential targets that we could hit in the midfield, I don't think there's even a rush at this point to bring in Fagioli, but we'll wait and see. In terms of De Winter and even Dragusin, I could say, but more so De Winter, this is not like a failure that some might say with Juventus and whatnot. This is just a guy that realistically, at the spots that he would be coming in, just hasn't had the opportunities. And I don't really see an issue with that one. And sometimes you're not going to get them all. You're not going to get them all. And even if you're developing some guy that might be there and might be ready for that test, it's just not going to fit with your roster. He's one of those guys that I just don't see on this team being at that point where we can bring him in. It's just not going to work. And that happens at times. That's how I feel with those youngsters. Can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. We're going to start this one off with Omer, and you can go through the midfielders first and then get into Dragusin and De Winter.
Yeah, so the midfield is kind of tricky because we already have like 9 players before even buying someone. There's a lot to get rid of. So some of these guys are just going to have to either leave or go out on loan. There's no escaping that. You can get rid of all the veteran players and introduce only youngsters and some new purchases. So I see all of their points. It would be nice for Fagioli to stay with Cremonese for another season. Rovella looks like he's the most likeliest to stay at Juve. And Dragusin is, if he stays, he'll get maximum Miretti minutes from this season, which will be bad for him for his development. Yeah, just seconds at the end of a couple of matches. So it's tricky. I want to throw another name in the mix that I've been overlooked, which is Giacomo Vrioni, who played with Pirlo last season a bit. He plays in the Austrian league today. Second top goal scorer with 15 goals, second only to Adiami, who's linked to Borussia Dortmund and to replace Holland and Borussia Dortmund. He's been having a great season so far and is out on loan. And we're looking at all those Raspadoris and what to do with Keane. I think he should be considered as well in the mix of players returning. Besides that, I don't know, you still need to add some experience. You can only bank on the young guys who are coming back.
Yeah. And then, Lucci's getting some love. Jet, pleasure having you around here. Everybody that's in here, like the video. Okay, hit that like. And of course, if there's anybody here that's not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Don't forget about the giveaway, everybody. Automatically entered, and we're getting closer and closer to giving that bad boy away, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Lucci, your thoughts on these young guys?
Yeah, I think at this point we don't know who else is coming in, and I do want to see Rovella with the team next year. My only concern is how much playing time is he going to get if we decide to bring in all these linked names, Pogba, De Jong, SMS, so on and so forth. If you're bringing in more established midfielders, my concern is that Rovella is not going to get much playing time, and that's going to stunt his growth as well. So that's something we need to look out. I'm sure Allegri's going to, consider all his options once the new season starts. Everyone else, I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if Dragusin or the Winter actually get sold instead of loaned out, depending on, you know, what the offer is, or like a swap deal, like we've mentioned before. So it is what it is. Moretti, Fagioli will be out for another loan, I think. But yes, Omer.
Yeah, I want to add that these things happen. It's not just Juve, because people
Yeah.
tend to get angry at Juve, but Chelsea lost Kevin De Bruyne and Lukaku. Barca lost Adama Traore, Grimaldo, Dani Olmo. It happens to every club. You can't have all the youngsters playing all the time.
Exactly, because you do have to consider the roster you have currently and if there's the space at those given positions. And it is what it is. In the midfield, obviously, Rabiot, McKennie, Locatelli, Zakaria, Arthur. If there's 2 outgoing and you add Rovella incoming, and one of them could potentially be a Pogba or a SMS-esque player, that style, and then the other is said to be a Jorginho or Paredes. Lately, De Jong's been in the mix, which is absolutely fantastic. And, you know, everybody's crossing their fingers that those rumors are true, that Juve is going to make a push come summer for De Jong. But the 2 that would have to be outgoing, you'd think, are Rabiot and Artur. Okay. You
100%.
bring in those options. Okay. So you get either one out of the groups, out of those groupings. I see already a big improvement on the midfield. Like, it's just, there's no way around it. Like, if you're bringing in even a guy that everybody jokes about in his links with Juventus in Paredes, I think that's still a step up on Artur, to be honest.
Agreed.
So it's like, I'd be happy with any of these scenarios, and it's going in the right direction. If you look at the guys to move there, Rabiot, we've talked a lot and given a lot of coverage and a lot of just opinions on and whatnot, based on the play and what he gives you, even at his best. It's that salary that's the killer for Rabiot. The fact that he came in on a free is all plusvalenza, basically, to the cause. He's just at the top. Artur is a tough one. I don't see a sale being done for Artur. Maybe a swap if he ends up going. Otherwise, it's just going to be a loan. So that's something you got to watch out for too. Chiesa is going to be probably the first piece of business in the summer, making that deal permanent. Okay. And which has to happen. And then I think they've got enough for one big splash. And then you might see a swap deal somewhere in the mix, and then some lower ranked positional guys to bring in, right? So I think I kind of seeing that's how I think this window is going to go. Want to get your guys' thoughts on that midfield, making any of those additions. Is there a big improvement? Do you agree with that? And just your thoughts on that before we get into the next one. So let's start this one. Either one of you can start off on the midfield combos and what you're thinking.
Ooh. Okay, Omer, I'll start. Like I said earlier, if we're bringing in the likes of Jorginho or Paredes and an SMS or De Jong, Rovella's not going to be able to fit into this lineup unless you're moving the likes of McKennie and Artur Rabiot. Do you bring in one midfielder? Do you bring in maybe only an SMS and De Jong and then keep Rovella? Because how many? You can't field 8 midfielders. You can field 3, maybe 4. Max likes to play Rabiot on the left. That's a whole other story. But for me, I think SMS or De Jong got to be the top priorities. For me, that's the type of profile we need. We need some goals from this midfield. And I think they would be a lot more involved moving the ball, progressing the ball, and something we need. So if we can get one of those, that's already a huge step in the right direction. And you bring in maybe Rovella, Jorginho. I don't know if I want that move, but I understand you want a bit of veteran leadership in the midfield, calm, whatever. But for me, I'd rather see Rovella stay with the team. But Omer?
Yeah. And I think that's going to happen even with 2 other additions.
But then he's not going to play.
Yeah.
You still got McKennie, you still got Locatelli, you still have whoever else is there. It's Zakaria. Like,
I think another question is: are we moving to a 2-man pivot, or are we going to be using a three base mid system? Right.
it's a good question.
Because that's kind of another big thing here too, right? Obviously, we're projected to go into that 2-man pivot. Obviously, granted how many injuries we have and everything right now, so we're expecting the 2-man pivot of Zakaria and Rabiot heading into Venezia. There, haven't heard otherwise, haven't seen otherwise. Max's press conference ahead of this game's over, and I didn't see anything in relation to it really. But that's kind of a big thing too. At this point with Rovella, I think maybe it could change things a bit that he has put in a solid stint with Genoa. Obviously, some injury issues, which is not ideal. But in terms of performance-wise, it kind of gives you that safe feeling that I think it's okay. And he could be at a point now where even just training amongst us is more of a benefit than staying there. That's kind of one of those trade-offs, but we'll have to see. It is a good point if he's not going to be getting the minutes, but I don't know. It's a tough one there. Omer, your thoughts on the midfield combos?
Look, even if you just take Locatelli, Zakaria, McKennie, that's a solid midfield in my opinion. Maybe not top of Europe, but that's a solid midfield. Yeah, but you need to add another thing in the mix there. With all the injuries we have, you can't always be certain that these guys are going to stay fit for long enough. Rovella should stay, like you said, even minutes training with Juve, playing some minutes here and there, Copa matches is better than playing for Genoa at this point, after he had one season which he impressed in. He needs to take it up to a new level. So he should stay, even if he doesn't get all the minutes we hope for. It will be better for him. And you can't always expect young guys to, if they don't feature all season long, then they should leave. That's the way it works. Sometimes it takes patience. Pellegrini was patient, and now he's preferred over Sandro at this point.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. But I don't think Rabiot is moving. I hate to throw Ramsey's name in the mix all the time because he is coming back, and he's another thing we have to get rid of. Basically, it's going to be shaped out by who we can, just force out the door, and then we can assess who needs to stay and who needs to leave. But if we can't sell Arthur and Rabiot, that's a problem for players like Rovella, especially.
Yeah. I have one question before we move on. So if Max decides to stay with a 2-man pivot, do you really need someone like Jorginho or Paredes when you have Locatelli there with a hardworking guy like SMS or Zakaria, so on and so forth? Because Jorginho is best in a 3-man, in a trio.
Well, this is what's weird about if you go 2-man pivot, like Milinkovic-Savic would then have to play. He would be that attacking mid, I guess. You'd end up having to play him, and it'd still be kind of a 3-man mid because he doesn't truly fit the mold of a 4-2-3-1. He's your prototypical left side or right side mid that gets forward and advanced, right? So even if you're going to go 2-man pivot, you could use that same defense to say, how does Milinkovic-Savic fit into the mix? He would have to play the position that we're used to seeing certain 10s play, right? And he doesn't fit that mold in our minds of what we're used to. But I think he could do it, to be honest with you, because it's not a drastic change from playing on the left side of a mid to just be at the top with two guys behind you. So it's not a big shift. So I would see him in that kind of role if he came in. So Jorginho, on the other hand, you got a player like that in a 2-man pivot doesn't really make 100% sense, but he could still do it, in my opinion. I think the biggest thing for them, I think they've kind of determined that they want to go, they want to improve on the switch up to Locatelli. I think they see Arthur as a bit of a drop and think they can make some type of upgrade there, really. Makes sense. They know that they need goals and whatnot out of the midfield and more contributions out of the midfield. McKennie can help there, but I think there needs to be more. Zakaria can help there a little bit too, but it's not to the levels of obviously the guys mentioned, especially Milinkovic-Savic can give you a lot more in that term. I kind of see it that way. Really.
Even if we play a 4-2-3-1 and with Dybala leaving, there is no middle to that three at the top, which could go to a player like Savic or even McKennie, that the players are more attack-oriented in their game.
I'm not sure if I trust McKennie there, though.
I don't know if I trust him there, but if you don't expect him to be like the guy who facilitates every move like people expect from Dybala, then it's a different issue. It's like a 4-3-3, but one of the guys is a big forward.
But see, if we play a 4-2-3-1, that spot behind Vlahovic would probably be best suited for Raspadori, not an actual CM. So
that's probably
that's I don't know. That's a good shout. So maybe we have to go 3-man mid, and maybe Max's whole thing is going to be a 3-man mid.
Maybe
we got to wait and see what develops. Let's go to some of the viewers here and what they got. Shatterstar saying, I just can't see Milinkovic-Savic coming to Juve. The asking price is too high, especially that there are EPL clubs after the player. Yes. Again, it's really, this goes back months to when these rumors began and everything. And I said the same thing there that I say now, and that's based on the fact that it's Lotito, based on the fact it's Juventus. The one thing Juventus would have to get is the same thing they did with Locatelli and the same thing they did with Vlahovic, and that's get the players' will. If they don't have the players' will, this one's going to always be a very, very uphill battle. If they can manage to get that, that's a huge, huge step in the right direction and a big boost for them. If they don't get that, very, very difficult. And then I would agree with you, Shatterstar, that I don't see it. But if they can get Milinkovic-Savic's will, then we know how that's going to end up unfolding. And then that price also will reflect. But it's one of those things.
We made 40 million just this week from selling Mandragora and Demiral to Atalanta and Torino.
True. Yeah. It's going to go right to Chiesa's sale. I mean,
great
buy.
One less thing to worry about.
I was gonna bring the Mandragora one up because this is very, very funny, because I saw some people messaging that, oh, here's a minus Valenza a deal because we paid 15. So here's the funny thing about Mandragora. It's a wild ride. So Mandragora was purchased in 2015 actually, for 9.9 million. Juventus sold him in 2018 for 22 million euros, only to purchase him again in 2020 for 16 million euros, to now sell him for 9 million. So there you have it, the wild ride of Rolando Mandragora. Now, obviously, a permanent deal with Torino. So if you look at that, even just based on that, and obviously it changes because there's loan deals in there too, that actually see a little bit of money heading to Juventus from the loans as well. So, yeah, I mean, it purchased him for 9.9, sold him for 22. You got, close to 12 million there, and then purchased him again in 2020 for 16. Hit of about 4, but then you're factoring in loans to now sell him for 9. Still a positive at the end of the day. So there you go. At the end of the day, it's all positive. And does this plant the seed for a little piece of business, extra business with Torino? Let's wait and see, because
we also have to clarify that plusvalenza is an interesting thing. It's not just, mathematicals with plus that minus that equals that. Juve bought Vlahovic for 70 million. Now on their books, they have an asset that is worth 70 million, and his price will rise. Right. This asset will be worth more. So it's not exactly like just you lost that money and you gained that money. Mandragora was a low-cost asset that is fine to lose. We didn't lose a player that cost us too much, and we didn't utilize him.
The contract terms too are what dictates plusvalenza too, based on when you sell, how much you sell for. Because if you play so much for a player, if he's already spent 2 years with you, 2 years out of that contract term gets basically deducted off of that, and then you're selling for whatever, and that's how you make up your plusvalenza. That's how your capital hits in the books. So even if you spend 60 on a player, but his contract term is 5 years, that's how you break it down. You have to divide that 60 million based on the 5 years. That gives you your number per year that he is on your books. So after each year, that number gets deducted. So if you sell him, that's where your capital comes from. So
and that
a
shows
lot
how
of people
important
just
selling
look at
Ronaldo
the
was.
main totals and then try and piece it together. And that's not the case in how it works on the books, of course. So yeah, interesting stuff. But the Mandragora one was very, very funny because it's a wild ride. We're gonna get into, before we get to Max's press conference, and then obviously now he's got some player updates out there that I'm seeing pop up. So we're going to get into that ahead of this game against Venezia, but we're going to have a little bit of fun. Everybody, I want to remind all of you joining us, hit the like button on the video. Every single one helps. Let's try and get the maximum likes on this one. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. Why? Because as a thank you, you're all automatically entered. Okay, we love the support we've received all season long, really since the start of this thing in 2018. Okay, I think we're up to 24 kits that we've given away. This one's going to be 25, and good luck to all of you. All you got to do is subscribe. Guys, speaking of kits, let's get into everything that riddled the timelines yesterday on the leaks, apparently, and the possibilities. I actually don't think 2 of those are going to be the kits whatsoever, but we're going to have some fun anyways, and we're going to talk about kits. Everybody knows I love kits. I think I'm up to 122 or something like that, 124, trying to get every single one from the year I really dug my feet into being this diehard until now, and I'm very, very close to completing that set. But here we go. If this were our 3 next season and you had to rate it out of 10, what rating do you give this collection of strip? Let's start with Omer on this one.
Yeah, I tweeted like an hour ago that since 2015-16, this is the best set I've seen of all 3 kits. Given it, grading it from 1 to 10, I would give it a 7 if it will end up looking exactly like that. I would give it a 7. I would have done a bit differently with the black one, a bit more accents on the logo and Adidas and the Jeep. I like the third one a lot. I think it's cool. And the main one, I don't have too much problems with it. I think it's fine. 7 out of 10 for me.
7 out of 10 from Omer. Okay. Lucci.
That's harsh, Omer. Jeez. I was going to say
The
8.
previous ones were like 3.
Okay. Well, you're a harsh critic then. That's why.
No, I gave it a critic as a set, not as each shirt individually we get different ratings, but as a set, it's a 7 for me.
For me, it's a 8.5. I do agree with Omer. Maybe a slight difference on the all black one, but the home one, not too much issues. The third one is probably my favorite. Yeah, I'd buy all 3.
So, as a collection, I don't think this would be our best ever. I don't even know if I'd put it in with our best. It I think it's on the outs of top 5. Probably hit top 5. I think. I don't think it's on the out of top 5.
That's good.
The home one, I like from a distance. When you get too close, those stripes are too wild. But from a distance, like looking at it like this on the screen, I like it. The lightning bolts on the Jeep logo kill me. They kill me. That's a little tacky in my opinion, but I like it. I do overall like the home kit. You get to this if this were the away or the third, we don't know which either way, but let's go to the all black one. I need a little more contrast in the details. Yeah. That's my only knock on it. Of course, all black kits, we've always loved the black kits. In 16 there we had the gold highlights, which was epic. One of the best black kits. Lucci's got a beautiful black one behind him that had the stars on the shoulders. That was a great year for kits. That would probably be in the top 500%. The pink one is spectacular. The black and pink one there at the end is absolutely spectacular. As a set, I'm about 8. I'm about 8 on all this one. Let's get
you
into
know what's
this.
interesting about the second one? What do you think the color on the back of the name and the number will be?
That's what I want to see too.
Well, that's
Yeah,
just it. You're kind of pigeonholed to follow this theme, which doesn't make sense because you can't do that because the
Yeah,
refs need to have the contrast. So what are you going to do? You're going to have this thing like this and put white numbers on it?
Well, I wonder if they'd be black numbers with white outline.
Maybe.
I don't think it will end up like this. I think there will be some accents, on the collar and on the shoulders, in some color, and that will reflect the color on the back.
Yeah,
That's what usually happens.
but
Yeah.
it would have to be white. What other color can you put?
We can agree it won't be black. The
No,
name and the number. Then
No.
then it's interesting. It
Yeah.
might make it look even better.
guess we'll have to wait.
I don't know. It's cool. I need a little contrast. I need some kind of details. But overall, this set would be amazing, especially when you think about what we've seen lately in a few of these kits.
Yep.
Yeah, this is starting to get dialed in. This is the way we need
I know
to
for a fact this is not going to be the final product of the second and the third. It's not 100% accurate, but it's close. But I haven't seen how it's going to look. There's just going to be a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
And the home one we might see as early as the Copa final.
Yeah. Another thing back to these kits, because Shatterstar brings up a great point here. These are concepts other than this home one. This home one is apparently supposed to be it. We will wait and see. But the second and third one that you're looking at, the black and the pink one, are apparently they're just concept kits, as Georg has pointed out here. Concept kits. He says because Shatterstar says he's surprised the sponsor would go with something where you can't see the actual logo, like the Adidas logo and everything. There was a discussion being had on social media about Juve having the final say on all this. Don't kid yourselves for a second that thinking that Adidas doesn't have some say in the designs that are being put out and everything, because there's no way that they pay 50 million a season to put out designs that at the end of the day they have zero say in. That's not the case. They might not have majority, but they definitely have a say in what happens with the designs and what's going out there. So it's a bit of both. Everybody's involved. Don't forget, it's Adidas's sponsorship money that they pay Juventus, right? So if you think they do that and give up complete say in it, that's not necessarily the case. Now, jerseys. Jersey number come up, and there's a discussion about Federico Chiesa. Number 10. You know what? I'm just going to pat myself on the back right now. These segues have been on point, eh? Come on.
Well done.
I'm on fire. 3:30 a.m. watch along is going to be just on point. So, Chiesa, number 10. Do you give it to him next year? What are your thoughts on it? Does it even have the weight? Do you even care? There's so many opinions on this. I can't wait to hear your guys' opinion on it. Federico Chiesa, he should be, we talked about earlier, the first piece of business for Juventus. Do you give him the 10 immediately, Lucci?
My honest opinion is no, but I do think the 10 doesn't hold as much honor or value as it did years ago. I think now it's more of a number than it was a few years ago. But for me, I'm going to say no. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it eventually.
I got to ask you a question. Why do you think it, why do you feel and think that it doesn't hold as much weight anymore? What do you think's kind of led to that?
I just think because now you see players come and go a lot more often. You don't have the Tottis, the Del Pieros, the Rossi, Maldini. You don't have those players staying and making legacies with one team. You see them, people want to leave and get paid. So you see it with Dybala. Well, the Dybala
so it's kind of like a historical thing where you're used to seeing that 10 be with essentially the Banderas, right? So
forever. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fair.
I think
so you think you don't give it to him immediately? Anyways,
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Especially coming back from a large injury like that. He's going to take some time, and at 10 gives him a little bit of extra heat. Probably doesn't need it, doesn't want it.
Yeah. Omer, let's get your thoughts on this. Anthony says Dybala's staying, so he'll be wearing it anyway. There you go.
Anthony is old. Look, I'm going to echo what Al posted about it because I think it was just spot on. No need to give Chiesa the number 10 yet. No need for him to carry that burden after coming back from his first real injury. He needs to be introduced slowly. There's nothing wrong with just putting him on the shelf for one season and see how it turns out. But I do see the financial aspect of it, of giving a new player the number 10 and the people who rush to buy it. If Chiesa gets the number 10, I'm getting that shirt. No questions asked. So, and the club is battling, they're trying to make money wherever possible. And this is another avenue which can go down through. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I get why. My personal opinion is no, wait another season, see if someone deserves it.
Yeah. So, yeah, and obviously I had that post yesterday, and Omer's used that, and I'm going to just echo the same things. Georg has a great point here in terms of would we have not given it to Tevez in hindsight? If we look back and we remember, Tevez, there was issues. There was issues at the time with the fan base in giving him the 10. Obviously, that was a scenario where it worked out great. Dybala, I could say, is another scenario where it didn't go wrong or badly in any shape. Paul Pogba was one that was awful, in my personal opinion. So out of the three that you've given to since Del Piero, one's been great. One's been good, and one was really, really bad. But, all it takes is that one that's really, really bad, where you're like, okay, well, we kind of willy-nilly'd about this thing and just kind of freewheeling it. In my personal opinion, there's a lot of factors. Obviously, Chiesa coming back after major injury, he has enough. He puts enough on himself. He doesn't need the weight of that shirt, because even if we feel like it doesn't have that aura around it like it used to, it still means something. And you still to this day hear the players talk about it because they know. They know that automatically they put that strip on, that it has a number 10 on the back, that they're in the mix with the guys that were good for it, like Tevez, Del Piero, Platini before Baggio. They know that. They know that it actually still carries that weight, regardless if we feel like it's kind of lost that extravagant feeling and that uniqueness about it. If that's still gone, the weight of it is still there. Let Chiesa focus on getting himself right. Any athlete you talk to, and friends that I've had that go through these injuries, will tell you the biggest battle he's going to face is mentally being able to trust his body again. He already puts enough pressure on himself. There's no need. And the other thing with Lucci highlighting that it's lost that aura to it, this would be a way to get it back. Let it sit vacant. Let one of those players be the guy that earns it and takes it and claims it. It would just be a nice way to get it back, whether it sits vacant for one season, whether it sits vacant for two. But this whole thing with the marketing thing, I kind of put that too. I can't see Juventus be in a position where they don't use it as a marketing ploy to kind of pick up the things. The problem I have with that, Chiesa is going to sell jerseys, whether it's 22 or it's 10. Chiesa is going to sell kits because he's a fan favorite and everything. So it's one of those things. It's just one of those things. But ultimately, what have we been saying a lot of? It's a business. It's a business.
So you know who they give it to? In my personal preference, Locatelli. I'll throw him in the mix. I don't
know. I was going to say, okay, Pogba comes back. You give him the 10 again?
No,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
That was a Hail Mary attempt to keep him at the club, so he won't leave Man United.
I remain in my stance. It sits vacant. The player and the club will know when it's time. However, if say Chiesa comes back and he just says, I'm taking the number 10, I want the number 10, all the power to him. That's a bold move and good on him if he wants to, because we saw Vlahovic do the same thing and just everybody expected 28 because Morata had 9 and 28 was his number prior. He comes in and says, give me the 7. And that's a ballsy move after the guy that left before you. So who knows? Maybe Chiesa says, hey, I want the 10 and ask for it. In that case, all the power to him. I think it should stay vacant. But, if a player's asking for it and even the potential of the marketing thing, I see Juve moving the 10 on, to be honest. So it'd be interesting to see. What happens. But in the comments here, we got a couple that were saying they wouldn't give him the 10. Shatterstar just feels that way because obviously the kit he's got with the Chiesa, the Cobra, he doesn't want that 22 changing. But the funny thing is with all this, I have a lot of kits. I have players that moved on, and everybody says, well, now those kits are useless and whatnot. Well, not necessarily, even player changing numbers, because the kits in the collection always remind me, I have memories associated with them, right? And different times and different seasons, and they're just kind of like little mementos. So feel that way. You might feel better just in case Chiesa takes that 10. Okay. Now let's get into some trivia before we get into all the game stuff and tackle Allegri's press conference. Little bit of trivia. 25 all-time matches. We're going to see if the live chat can take down the panel of Lucci and Omer today. 25 all-time matches. Juve, Venezia. How many victories for Juve?
Look, the problem with it is that I remember Venezia in like 2 seasons, I think 99 and 2001. The rest is long of the past.
Oh, yeah.
So
but the live chat wasting no time. 20 from Leo, 19 from Georg.
Yeah, I'll go with 22.
Oh, 22 out of 25.
No, excuse me. Wait.
That's
no, I'm going with 18.
18. Okay, 18.
I was thinking that as well. I'll go 19.
19. Well, let's see. We've got 20 and 19 from the live. We've got 18 and 19 there. 16. Wow. 16 wins all time for Juventus. Max Allegri has faced Venezia 3 times. What's his record?
Max Allegri. Once this season he drew the game. 2 were probably back in 2001.
I'm thinking.
I don't know. I think one win, 1 draw, 1 loss.
I was gonna go 2-0-1.
2-0-1, 1-1-1. Shatterstar 1-1-1. It is 1-1-1. Ones across the board. Great job, Omer. Great job, Shatterstar. How many goals has Juventus buried on Venezia in 25 all-time matches?
Total, it was like 4-0 back in 2001. 25 games. I'll go with 32. Yeah.
Really?
No. 29 goals total for Juve.
29 goals?
Wow. Really? Damn.
Okay.
I gotta reconsider now. I was thinking a lot more.
It's a bet. No, it's just a bet. I have no frame of reference.
So 25 all-time matches. How many goals Juve has scored? Omar's going 29. Lucci's
36. 36.
Yeah, I'm covering the low end. You should cover the top end.
36 from Lucci. We've got some guesses here in the live. 38, 35. We got a 40. We've got a couple 40s, another 35. So, Price is Right rules. Go to the live chat. It's 50 goals.
Shit.
50 goals.
Omer, you threw me off. I was thinking around 50. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, shit, that's too high.
I told you to cover the top end. Go with 60.
How many wins out of the last 10 matches does Juventus take?
I think 7.
So 7 from Omer.
7, 6. I'll go with 6.
6 now.
I was thinking 6 too. I'll go 5.
All right. 6 and 5 out of the last 10. 25 all-time matches, 16 total wins. Last 10, we have Georg coming in with 8. Shatterstar with 6. A lot of 7s here. Juventino only need 5. It is 5. It is 5 wins. All right.
Bravo.
That's not very good. Jeez.
In the last 10 outs, but it's a long
Yeah,
time.
but there are decades between those
there's a
games, so
big
it's
gap
fine.
in these 10 outings. Last question. This might determine who wins this thing. Who scored in the last match between the clubs for Juventus?
Oh, jeez.
The 1-1, it was Luca Pellegrini assist. It was Morata. Morata scored that.
Was
I
it?
think near post.
Was it?
I think, I'm not so sure. Maybe
Was it?
McKennie. It was before Vlahovic was here.
Yeah.
Dybala and Chiesa were injured at that time. I think it's Morata.
Well, I don't want to say the same thing because that would be kind of dumb.
The dumb thing is, I remember who scored for Venezia. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who scored for Juve.
Jeez,
it's
I
Morata.
was gonna say Locatelli. I just don't want to guess the same as Omer.
So what are the final answers here?
I'll say Locatelli. I don't know.
Locatelli from you, Omer.
Morata.
In the live chat, we have Quadrado, Loca, Keane, Morata. It was Morata. You guys have tied. Do you guys want a tiebreaker?
Oh yeah.
Here's a tiebreaker.
Pressure's
trivia
on.
question. What jersey did I wear on yesterday's news update video that I did?
Buffon.
Yes, the classic one.
The classic blue
There
Buffon.
you go. There you go. The live chat's going to get it too. You know what? You guys tied. You guys did awesome today. Okay. Well done. Well done, everybody.
Okay.
Probable 11. Should we get into this? Let's get to Allegri's press conference first off. Okay. So, not a whole bunch going on in his press conference today. I mean, he didn't declare anybody dead, which is always a bonus. 4 points short of going into the Champions League, have to win tomorrow. So obviously, even given the opponent, Venezia, we've got to get it done. Okay. He continues to press this feeling that this season doesn't need to be ranked, rated in any way, shape, or form. Okay. He's laying the foundation. He remains on that point. He was happy to hear the president's words, of course, Agnelli backing him in this long-term project and that this is the route they wanted to go. So he just kind of spoke to that. He also then gets into some of the player updates, saying the team is physically good. We could see youngsters playing tomorrow. Okay. He says that. But
I doubt it.
Artur has become available. Okay. Artur is available. Danilo will play. Danilo will be in there. He remains that it's difficult to see Locatelli. You know, we talked about that earlier on the show. It's very, very difficult to see Locatelli again this season. Quadrado should be returning for the Genoa match. Okay. And he's going to assess Keane tomorrow as far as playing him. So there you kind of go. The probable lineup that we have seen put out there was Szczesny in goal. It had Danilo. It had Bonucci and Chiellini at center backs with Pellegrini on the left side. And then it had Zakaria and Rabiot with Bernardeschi, Dybala, Morata, and then Vlahovic up top. That's a little heavy for Venezia.
I like it, though.
Oh, yeah, of course I like it. Feels a little heavy, but you've got a good gap between games. Sorry, Omer?
Can you go through it again? I was distracted. Napoli are 4-0 up on Sassuolo after 27 minutes.
Oof.
We really did a number on Sassuolo.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
Can you go through that again? I missed the lineup.
Okay. So we projected to have Szczesny in goal, Danilo, Chiellini, Bonucci, Pellegrini, Zakaria, Rabiot with Bernardeschi, Dybala, Morata in behind Vlahovic.
Morata.
And
Okay.
I agree with Swati. It should be playing out as a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we should be decimating them. If that's the lineup you're going, we should be decimating. I agree with that. Again, I think it's pretty heavy, but again, schedule-wise, you're coming down to the nitty-gritty. These are must-win games. You can argue put the game in the hands of your best players, let them get the job done. Juventus, after this one, of course, the next one is the one we'd be expecting. Where is it here? You'd be expecting Quadrado to make his return, which would be on Friday.
Okay.
So you go from Sunday to Friday. There's a big gap there. So you could argue for emptying the clip, getting the job done, because that is a heavy lineup. Obviously, listening to Max, he says some youngsters could play. But for me, you don't play again until Friday. Get the job done. Go out there, decimate it. You want the youngsters to come in, get the job done in the first half and get some rotation in. Like, that's how I feel. Just make sure you bank these points. We're so close to sealing the deal for fourth. Get it done. That's how I feel. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, look, Juve basically need a win and a draw to secure top four. This, out of all the games remaining, this is the must-win game. Like, Venezia are on a horrible run. They're last in the league, I believe. Not long ago it was Salernitana, but they had a good run recently. Venezia look destined to go back to Serie B, and it's at home. It's a must-win. Then you can, take your foot off the gas versus Lazio or Fiorentina or whoever. Just get that first win, and another draw until the end of the season is enough, which is massive considering the Coppa Italia is coming. So you can even play some of those younger guys against Genoa on Friday. So go all out. Go with the best you have. Secure that win as early as possible and rest on your laurels.
Soiree with a great point too. I mean, you've got Roma that's going to be playing an upbeat Bologna as well. So it's just like, just get after it, get the job done, seal it. Now, Haneen's got a question about Delict, not ready ? There hasn't been a whole lot said or reported. We know obviously he had to leave last minute and not be a part of the last match. So I don't know if there's some type of continuation there or if they're just being safe. Regardless, he's not in the projected, but in the same token, because we haven't heard anything about it, I wouldn't be surprised if come start time he is on the sheet, right? So we haven't heard in either direction. So Lucci, your thoughts lineup wise, and just get after it, and even the youngsters.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. We have some time before Friday, so it's an early game tomorrow. Get out there, score some early goals, and then you bring on some of the youngsters. Get
the other argument too there for the youngsters. Seal this thing earlier, and then they can have the season out.
Exactly. Oh, that too. Yeah.
I want to remind you that Venezia's coach has been sacked, Paolo Zanetti. The guy on the bench would be their Primavera coach.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Happened this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
With him yet.
This
game has a huge win written all over it. Just
I would hope so.
No excuses. No
guys,
excuses whatsoever to not win.
We are going to do a Storm the Barn session for all the live audience where you guys can get any and all questions into us. But we are going to have some fun. We're going to try to give away something from Striped Hearts Apparel, which is a sticker package set, okay? And that's all you got to do. We're going to pick somebody that wants to take part. So if you want to take part in the prediction challenge, which we're about to do, just type in the chat here that you're in so that we know. And then we're going to pick one of you to try and get one of the prizes. Also want to highlight, if you haven't seen it, get to stripedheartsapparel.com. You don't want to miss these bad boys. These things are absolute fire. Okay, so obviously throwback to the old kits. The top one with the Fast Web 2001 sponsor design. And then you've got the bottom ones, which are off the Danone kits in 1994. So make sure you show some love to sponsor stripedheartsapparel.com. And they just put out a Tevez design and Lippi as well. So make sure you check them out. Now, Anish saying Napoli thrashing Sassuolo. Omer already went over that. A big beatdown happening there, but we're going to get ready for predictions. the last one, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw, but the gaffer just absolutely dominated. Oh, I should have bought a lottery ticket after that one. I was spot on almost the entire line there.
It's been a week. It's been a week since. Drop it.
Come on.
You guys don't know it's been going on in about a week now since it happened.
Buddy, I don't think
Omer,
anybody's hit that many correct ever. Let me just have it. I'm wrong
No,
all the time.
all
Let me just have
all
it.
credit to you. All credit to you for guessing it right. Guessing is always tough.
I'm just trying to be the prediction guy. You've got the trivia on lockdown. You're the trivia guy. I'm gonna go with the prediction guy. So let's see.
You sound like a Fiorentina
What
fan.
the hell am I
Enjoying
then? Why
one
am I
win.
here? I'm not needed.
Lucci, you're the jawline. Come on, man. The divine jawline.
I guess I'll take it.
You know, and plus, you know, everybody plays their part. If the birds get too loud, Omer quiets them up. You know, Raph's our emotional roller coaster. Joey Cappuccino's our bathrobe aficionado there. So who knows? Everybody's got their thing. Luca's our grumpy cat there. Everybody's got their place.
Anthony is La Vecchia, dude.
Anthony's our
Vecchia Senor.
Our abacus of stink meter there. So everybody's got their place. Storm the Barn. So before we get to Storm the Barn, I see some coming in. Shatterstar, if you're still kicking around, we're going to pick you for the prediction challenge, okay? So if you want, you can follow along. We're going to get going here with this. Offsides to Juventus in this match. These are our tiebreakers we're going to get out of the way right out of the gate here. So, Lucci, how many offsides for Juventus tomorrow?
4.
4 from Lucci. Omer. Omer?
Oh,
2.
You're on mute, bud.
Yeah. I couldn't help but notice Bob is not here today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go with 3. And this is the first time in a long time. We're missing Bobby.
Time.
Bobby? I miss you, buddy.
Where you at, bud?
So 3 offsides I'm going to go with for Juventus. Anish is going with 4. So Shatterstar isn't kicking around. We could take Anish's. You can compete and try to win yourself some stickers. So he's going 4. We're going to go with now yellow card. Who gets the first card and at what minute? Oh, Shatterstar's in there. You know what?
Yeah.
You guys can both compete. Shatterstar and Anish. So Shatterstar's got 5 offsides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First card, what minute, what team? Omar.
Venezia, 36.
It's very close.
Okay, Lucci.
Venezia, 34.
Venezia, 34. Okay, we're going to wait for Anish and Shatterstar. I'm going to go with Venezia, 23.
Ooh.
Early card, because if we play that lineup, we're going to be guns blazing getting after this thing, and they're going to take an early card. Okay.
First minute.
Yellow, 27th for Venezia from Shatterstar. Okay. And Anish has got 2 yellows. Venezia, first minute. Wow. That's a bold play, Cotton. Okay. Now let's get to total attempts. How many on target for Juventus, everybody? Okay, so shot attempts. How many on target? Who wants to start this one off?
Omer, you want me to go?
Yeah, can do.
Okay. 18 attempts. 11 on target.
All right. I'll change it up and I'll go so you guys don't think I'm trying to, feed off you guys. I'm going to go with 15 total with 8 on target.
Close to mine.
Omar?
I'm going to go with 14 and 7.
14 and 7. Let's check out our friends here. Anish has got 12 and 5. And Shatterstar has 12 and 6. All right. Halftime score, everybody. Halftime score, everybody. Let's go. Let's go. Look at Swarit there jumping in. 19 attempts, 10 on target. Very close to Mr. Lucci there.
Feeling a little
So
confident today.
halftime scores. Omer.
2-0 Juve.
2-0 Juve for Omer. Lucci.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same.
2-0 Juve. I'm gonna go with the 1-0 Juve at half. And we're going to wait for Shatterstar and Anish. Anish has 1-0 Juve. And Shatterstar's got 2-1 for Juve at half. So full-time scores. I'm going to go with 3-0 full-time Juve.
Yeah, I'm thinking 3-0 too.
So Omar's got 3-0 Juve as well. Lucci?
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like I gotta be different now.
You do. See how we did that?
Okay, I'll go 4. I'll go 4-0. You know what?
4.
We'll take a chance.
All right. Anish has 2-0 final for Juventus. And Shatterstar's got the 3-1 win for Juve. Now, everybody, goal scores. We just got to wrap up the goal scores. Then we're done the prediction. And then we'll dive into Storm the Barn for a little bit. So, goal scores. For me, I'm going to say Paulo gets 1 and Dushan's going to get a brace. So I'm going to take Vlahovic for 2 and Dybala for 1.
Damn it.
And Omar.
Yeah, I thought Dushan brace too. And someone from the midfield. Maybe Zakaria.
Really?
Yeah. Sounds solid.
So what was it, Omar? Sorry?
2 from Dushan and 1 from Zakaria.
Okay. Nice. Lucci, you need 4, buddy.
Okay. It's Venezia, man. Come on. Paolo with 1. Dusan with 2. And I'm going to give my boy Berna some good luck, and he's going to score 1 tomorrow.
The odd Berna shout. I like it. So Anish has Vlahovic and a center back.
Wow, give us a name here. We can't. What the hell is this?
I'll give him CB. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt when you call a CB goal.
Fine.
I think that's fair. That's
Fine.
fair. Shatterstar's got DV7, Dybala, Zakaria. Guys, I like this. Good luck to all of you. Okay. Thank you, Shatterstar and Anish, for taking part. Good luck. We'll see what happens. We got comment here saying you guys are very positive about the game tomorrow. I mean, come on. It's Venezia. If that's the lineup we're going to play and we need to seal the Champions League position, I would really hope that we're not far off in these types of picks. We need to take the game to them. We need to get it done. And I think, we've been waiting for a game like this for a while. I think with everything going on as of late, and we need this, and we need some goals. Dybala's in there, Vlahovic is in there, Zakaria. The 2-man pivot surprised me against Inter. Okay, That pit surprised me against Inter. Against Venezia, you're damn right. I'm going to have some higher expectations. Let's get the job done and let's be serious here. 3-0. I'm saying 3-0. I think we're going to see some goals too.
Listen, if we don't beat Venezia by at least 2, I don't know.
Yeah.
If we don't win by at least 2, I'm blaming Max.
Look, our team is very positive. We all really like you. If you want negativity, it's all over social media, everywhere you go. So that's our thing. We love Juve, and we like to keep it always positive and not just negative. And that's the type of games we can go in all positive.
Yeah.
They stink, as Anthony likes to say. They stink.
Yeah. We got to do this. We got to take this thing down and get to it. Let's go. Shatterstar is saying thanks for letting us play along. Absolutely. This show, we say it all the time, is nothing without all of you. We want to keep growing the AJC army, okay, and continue growing this community. Let's go. He also really appreciate all that you guys are doing, especially this time in the morning. The channel has grinta. That's right. I like that. Damn right. 3:30 a.m. I gotta have some green to come that watch along. I'll tell you. I'm going to need something. So, Anish adding, if we don't beat Venezia, we don't deserve a Champions League spot. Come
100%.
match week 35, and you need to get the job done against Venezia. It's hard not to agree with this. Let's go. It's
100%.
Venezia. The players we have that we're about to field, come on.
Listen, if
Let's
we don't, we should dominate. If we don't, there's something wrong with Max. Like, there's no other way. I don't know.
Storm the barn. Udogi, Bellanova, Raspadori, or SMS and Emerson/Alonso. So Udogi, Bellanova, Raspadori as one grouping, or Milinkovic, Savic, and one of Emerson and Alonso. Ooh, that's spicy.
I don't see Bellanova getting too many minutes with Danilo, Quadrado, De Chilio all sticking around the right back. So he's like, okay.
But those other options are awful.
Udogi is super
It's the Emerson Alonso that's kind of like, oh man.
No,
but to be fair,
I'd go with Udogi.
But he's part of that package.
No, but it's a package, Omar.
It's one or the other.
You take Udogi, Bellanova, or Raspadori together, or you can have SMS and one of Emerson and Alonso. Which do you choose?
Oh,
shit. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I missed that. Or okay. No, it has to be the second one.
I would take the SMS one, regardless of Emerson and Alonso being in there. Pellegrini should be battling with Emerson.
Look, Alonso is putting one hell of a shift.
I used to really like Alonso, but he's
awful.
Never kind of.
Look, he's putting in one hell of a shift this season at Chelsea. He's fine because Ben Chilwell got injured and it filled up for him nicely. Better than previous seasons.
But is Chelsea even playing with a back four?
Yeah.
Is Chelsea playing with a back four or back three?
Back three.
That makes a big difference.
At the time when I liked him, they were playing back three, and he was kind of on the outside with some freedom, and it was good. Yeah,
a big difference for him because he doesn't have pace. He's older now.
Yeah,
I don't see. I've been on that SMS train. I said he's the one we need, the one I want. Blah blah blah. But I think
as a trade-off to go with Emerson or Alonso, I still bring in SMS. I'm
going option one, man.
Yeah.
I think
you're going option one.
Yeah.
One of those players, I agree with Omar. Like Bellanova's not even going to be whatsoever. Like you're not even doing anything there. But Udogi, Raspadori.
This gives you the option to move SMS. Not SMS. Di Chilio to the left, Danilo on the right. Quadrado stays higher up the pitch because obviously we're not going to be able to sign an abundance of wingers. So
who's going to have a bigger impact on this team is basically what this question comes down to: Raspadori or Sergei Milinkovic-Savic.
And I think Raspadori fits where we can't play Dybala because Dybala's whatever. Raspadori fits right behind that striker.
I think SMS makes a bigger impact on this team than Raspadori.
I disagree. SMS is at least what you're getting is pretty much a sure.
I don't know.
I can't. The other guys are a bit.
I can't do Emerson or Alonso, man. I
can't. I'm saying it's a trade-off because I think
time?
SMS, out of all the players named there, has the biggest impact on this team because it's the biggest missing spot that this team doesn't actually have and hasn't had for a long time. Is a guy with that technical ability, that's an aerial threat, that can score goals, that can shoot from range. We just don't have a guy like that, or have had a guy like that for so long, man.
But option one gives you the option to sign Pogba on a free.
We don't.
No, it's over, man. It's over.
You can do it. You can make it happen. Not that I want Pogba.
That's a great question, though. That was a really, really good question. It's interesting. That's such a bad trade-off, though. God, those fullbacks. Okay.
Yeah, but
Shatterstar's coming in with Chiesa tearing his ACL and explosiveness being a big part of his game. What are the odds that he's still the player he was prior to injury? So basically this comes down to, how do you still see Chiesa as impactful as he was prior to it? For me, I think, honestly,
it's tough.
I've said this, sports science has come a long, long way. These injuries are not the way they were back in the day, back in, the Del Piero days and all that. Like, it's come such a long way. He's going to maybe lose a bit pace-wise, maybe a bit, but it's not going to be to the detriment where I think he has to completely change his game. I don't think we're going to need to see that out of Chiesa just yet. I think the biggest thing for him is just becoming comfortable again. Yeah. And there might be some time where we have to all be patient, because I think he's going to have to learn to trust his body again. The latest report said he's going to be somewhat running very, very soon, actually, not too far from now. So that's a big, big positive in terms of Chiesa back to running slowly. At the end of the summer, he'll be able to start to increase the pace and stuff again. So it's coming. We just got to have patience. But I feel my biggest fear is Chiesa himself, because of, just the way he is and whatnot. Is he going to try and push himself? Is he going to gain that trust too quick? It's like the recovery process is a nightmare, and you fight so many mental battles going through that whole thing. Anthony can attest to that perfectly, and he has before. It's basically a mind fuck the whole way through. I have no fears long term in Chiesa. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we've seen with Zaniolo, it's going to take him. He's not even back to the player he once was. Obviously, he's had it happen twice. But I think we're going to need some patience with Chiesa for sure. At least a few months. Even once he returns, he's still going to need a few months easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Omer, anything to add there?
Yeah, we need to give him time. I think those, recovering from those types of injuries really depend on the type of person you are and how to treat yourself. Chiellini had it happen when he was 35, 36.
True.
Came back. Did you even feel like he had an ACL injury? Demiral is playing great. Not everyone, it's just a career-ending move for them. And it happens to him at a young age, so maybe his body will recover better than at an old age. But we do need to give him time, to adjust, to accustom to his new body and how it works. So we can't expect him to blow up the minute he returns. We have to give him time.
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
Yeah, and that's just it. I think everybody's kind of on the same page. Just give it some time, trust the process, and be patient. The biggest thing we would need is to have any further delays, aggravations, or worst case scenario happening again, because Shatterstar does mention, much higher odds to do it again, which is the unfortunate thing about it. But again, sports science, come a long way.
But I do see some new things from him. His passing is still smart. He has some other attributes to him that are good besides his speed and pace, which was a huge factor in Del Piero's return from that same injury. So
I was going to touch on a little bit of change in his game might need to be necessary in terms of playing off of other players, because and this is one of the things, I don't know if you guys remember way back when in the season when Max was saying Chiesa still had to grow in certain moments of matches. And I actually agreed with Max, because you would see him take players on unnecessarily, be surrounded with 3 defenders and try to weave his way through and whatnot, when there was an outlet and he could have used his pace to get beyond. Move the ball and then move yourself. Make it easier for you. He might have to do that more than he was doing before. And that's one thing he might have to adapt to. But that was also part of growing, becoming a better player even more. Because as good as he was and as impactful as he was, everybody, I think, could agree there's still more to Chiesa, and he can even become much, much better. The other factor in that is, who are the other players around him? And when he does dish that ball off, is he going to get it back? This brings up a great point somebody made on my YouTube video yesterday. It might have been the day before. And it was our friend Arash. He's great. He's usually in the lives, not here today, unfortunately, as I'm going to bring up a great comment he made. It was a news video speaking about the youngsters and where we stand with them and everything, and every player's scenario. He brought up Fagioli and said, if you look at Fagioli, he says, this is him speaking. He is certain that Fagioli will make an impact with Juventus when the time does come. If you watch him play, The players know when he gets the ball, that ball can go anywhere on the pitch, and they start to release. They start to make runs. And he says, when you watch this Juventus side, he said he agrees with me. And a lot of the time when I speak, there's not even any movement. There's nobody making these runs. He says there's nobody on the pitch for Juve that the other players trust. They'll even get a look if they make those runs. And therefore, those runs stop completely. Something very, very interesting. But even just touching on this Chiesa thing, he tries to play give and goes if the ball's not coming. Our wingers trying to make runs beyond the defense. Is the ball even going to come? Artur has been, singled out numerous times during Pirlo's season for never releasing that thing or trying those long balls. So real quick, before we kind of wind things down, it does make sense, and you would have to agree that there might be some lack of trust amongst the players in terms of, can these guys do certain things? It's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like they're just a bit confused with all the managerial changes and formation changes week in, week out, and some balance issues. Because like 1 season ago, 2 seasons ago, we had tons of players who would make runs and no player to give them the ball. And now it's kind of shifted. We have good players, but all the attack players wants the ball to fit and not into runs. Since Chiesa left, Kulusevski left, Cuadrado kind of shifted his game and he wants the ball to fit. So the balance is a bit lost, and we have to add to that maybe another 1 or 2 runners and maintain just stability with the lineup, so everyone knows what the role is and when to run and when to pull back. That's what I see when I look at this Juventus team.
Yeah, you're right, Omer. But I think even when Chiesa was playing and you had Locatelli and whatever, other than Locatelli, I don't see anyone trying to switch the field or pick out a long, other than Bonucci, which shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, you need someone in there, whether that's Fagioli or someone else. We lack that midfield that can pick a pass, that can make a groundbreaking pass. We don't have that, and that you don't think that holds us back.
I do agree that last season Pirlo played with the system of a lot of player making runs. Allegri doesn't do that as much.
Yeah, you're right.
So Locatelli for Pirlo would have been massive,
huge,
probably season changing for his style of play. Allegri is a bit different in his approach.
Yeah. Just a little.
Just a little.
Okay, that's good stuff. It's good stuff. Everybody, again, big thank you. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Good luck to all our subscribers. Okay, in this Vlahovic jersey giveaway, we're a week and a half away from giving this thing away. Check out stripedheartsapparel.com. Obviously, these are the latest. Great stuff. Lucci wearing the Chiesa tee there. And we're just going to answer a couple of these real quick. Any news around McKennie injury? So McKennie was originally slated for a late April timeline return. It did get pushed back. He's not terribly far off, but still doubts that you'll see him again this season. He's kind of in that Locatelli boat where it's you might not see it. Dells brings up a good question. Are you guys worried about future UEFA sanctions at all? What did you think of the Agnelli interview? Apologies if you've already covered it. We didn't really cover it a lot, but as far as the sanctions, basically the latest is that UEFA could look at cutting the prize money, basically fining them in that sense and fining them financials and docking them prize money out of the European competitions. This is, of course, to Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Juventus for their continuation in the Super League process. There appears to be no stopping this Super League project and its continuation. Am I worried about the sanctions? I'm not worried because something I said a long time ago when everybody was worried that Juve was going to get kicked out of Champions League and all this. I have a really strong amount of trust in Agnelli that he wouldn't do something that would jeopardize the club so drastically and dramatically, especially after everything it's done to work out of 2006. I just can't see them taking any type of chances that would hurt them that drastically. Am I worried about UEFA? Not so much, because I think the longer this goes, the more UEFA is exposed, to be honest. And I think that there's teams, all those teams that jumped on it before, they backed out because they had this fear and the fact that they didn't have to bank on something changing, because the teams that jumped ship are the ones that these other teams are trying to even the playing field with. So overall, I'm not too concerned with it. Let's get Omer and then Lucci on the UEFA sanctions and if we're worried.
Yeah,
I think you're muted, Omer.
I'm not worried. No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm not worried all that much. Florentino Perez is a very, very powerful man. He's like an octopus with hand in every place in Europe. You have to be this powerful to make this type of move, and there's actually no precedent to it, no legal precedent. And the clubs can sue UEFA for this type of actions. They already did once and they won. UEFA couldn't do anything. I believe it will go down the same way because there's nothing to it rather than just UEFA are upset. Yeah. Besides that, there is nothing wrong with what they did. You can have an idea. If it hasn't materialized yet, you can't make any sanctions based on an idea.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of them, all the owners and CEOs and presidents, they all have, great lawyers to begin with, and, always cross their T's and dot their I's to make sure they're not going to get bit in the end. So I have complete trust and faith in what they got going on. And I'm sure there's a lot more stuff going on behind the scenes. So I'm with Omer. I'm not worried.
There you go. Omer never looks worried.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sits there, tank tops, having a nice smoke, telling the birds to F off. It's good. It's great stuff. There we go. There we go. What was the comment? We got a great comment off that viewer question that was sent in on Twitter to the main account. So if you're not following us on Twitter, it's at AllJuveCast. All the team members, our individual handles are in the description to this video. Follow us. You'll get something different with every team member you follow, which is awesome. So, but we got a lot of good words, and they said that Omer was very, very zen-like and was the calm head the whole time. And I was like, oh yeah, we can see that. We can see that.
Absolutely.
Great stuff. Yeah. Always brings great angles. So we encourage all of you, if you ever have questions that come up and you don't want to wait to show or you don't want to forget it, just DM the main account at AllJuveCast, and we'll make sure we find time to get those into shows. Big thank you, everybody, for joining us on a match day live that took place the day before the match day, obviously, because it's going to be 3:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be live for that one, okay? So if I'm getting up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, you guys got to get up at whatever the hell time it is for you. You're probably already going to be up. Some of you, it's going to be mid-afternoon, whatever. Join me. Live reactions. Let's get this victory. Let's see if our friends win the prediction challenge, okay? Enjoy the rest of your Saturdays. I'll see you bright and early. Fino alla fina. Forza Juve. Let's go. Let's seal this Champions League spot. Thanks again, everybody. Ciao.